राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद
राधे राधे राधे
नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन कथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। नमोऽस्तुते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दुग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। Okay, let me welcome all of you to this satsang today. So, for those of you who don't know what we are doing, we have started 108 night yajna in 108 temples across Gaya, from Ramwood Creek all the way to Charity in Pomeroy. And this is the 85th night. This is the 85th temple tonight. This is temple number 85. People outside are asking me, Gaya has so many temples. Well, it's just a dust, isn't it? A speck only. I average. I cannot count, but I feel cross 500 temples for sure. No joking about that. So, 85 tonight, and we have reached chapter 15, 1-5. So let me tell you what is going on in chapter 15. Bhagavan is saying, where we reached last night, a very simple thing, that all pervasive Lord is here, there and everywhere. That means He is also there in this body, your body, and He is there everywhere. Now, you know, if you take this thing and you put it outside, on a sunny day, right? Would you see the sun in this thing? Would you see a reflection of the sun in this thing? No. But if you take the same size of mirror and you put it outside, you will see a blinding sun there, isn't it? You will not be able to watch that sun also. So it means this thing cannot reflect the sun. But the mirror can reflect the sun. In the very same way, this thing cannot reflect consciousness. Even though consciousness is there in it, it cannot reflect consciousness. But our mind and intellect can reflect consciousness. So consciousness is all pervasive. It's just in nature, in this prakriti we call it. The technical word is prakriti. In the prakriti, there are some things that can reflect consciousness and there are some things that cannot reflect consciousness. Just like there are some things that can reflect the sun and some things that cannot reflect the sun. That is all. So our mind and intellect means the antakarana, technical word. Better we start learning some of these technical words now because in English there are no words for those things. No? The antakarana, the inner instrument of a human being and all the living creatures, they are special. And for this thing, so even the dog, he knows my owner has come. Because consciousness is there, reflected in his mind. My owner has come. He knows. And if his neighbor is coming, he'll wag his thing. But my owner has come, he'll wag. So, some instruments can reflect that consciousness and some cannot. So, Bhagavan is saying, I am that consciousness in you, and I am the consciousness in you, and I am the consciousness in that one, and everyone. And what I have done there, I'm reflecting in that body with a mind and 5 senses. I'm there in that body with a mind, and I have taken on into myself a mind and 5 senses. And you know now, we have these 5 senses through which we see and taste and touch and smell and all that kind of thing. And hear. So that mind has these 5 tentacles as it were, and that mind and everything is illumined by this consciousness of Paramatma. So Bhagavan has reached there. This is where we reach. Now, not only is this mind and this antakarana staying in this body at this time, after some time it will drop this body and it will go to another body somewhere. So the same person, if here he was greedy and angry and lusty and wicked and evil, when he leaves this body and he goes to another body, so what he'll be? Same thing. And if here he is compassionate and loving and what you call but has proper etiquette and he has all the good values and all of that, here when he leaves this body and he goes to the other body, he'll be exactly the same thing. That is because I carry with me all my habits and my traits and characteristics and all like that, because those things are in my mind. So now Bhagavan is touching on those type of things from the next verse. Now see, this is number 8. Number 8. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam. Shariram yad avapnoti. Whenever, see, the one who is living in this body, because it's part of Paramatma living in this body, part of that supreme infinite reality living in this body, is given a special name. You know, like for example, you are living in this country. When you go to some other country, you are given a special name that time. They don't say, this is a Guyanese person. They say, this is a visitor. Isn't it? They give you some other appellation. This fellow is a visitor. You like that. Oh, he's a tourist. Look, tourist come. Nobody is looking for Guyanese come. They say a tourist. But it's the same person. The same Paramatma in this body and your body and all the bodies, dwelling in all bodies in this world. That Paramatma, that time, dwelling in a body is called a Jiva. Please say that word. Yeah, Jiva. Usually in English people say soul. But soul word actually, that word is soulless. That word doesn't have any soul. So the proper word in Sanskrit is Jiva, the one who dwells in this body. And the one who comes out and goes to other bodies. And how many bodies we have gone in? That was in the 4th chapter over there in East Coast. That time we were talking about that. Countless bodies. We have taken countless births. The Jiva has moved into countless bodies. That is the idea. So, Shariram yadavapnoti yamchapyakramati Ishvara. Ishvara here, just the Jiva is called as Ishvara. Because the part of Ishvara, part of the Paramatma. When he is taking up a new body or dropping another body, what he does? Grihit vaitani samyati vayurgandhani vashaya. He takes with him all his same mind and intellect and all his habits and traits and characteristics and qualities and everything which he has inside. It's not that here he is a nice fellow, very charitable, very compassionate, very loving, very kind and all that. And when he goes there, something happens. No, same person with all his traits and characteristics and all, he goes to the other body. Same way. Huh? So he's born there. And now he's born where? He's born in a like-minded family. This was explained in the 6th chapter, which we passed on. He's born in a like-minded family. And if he is over here now, in this lifetime, if he is evil and all the other bad things now, he is born in a same type of family there. So now what that also, this actually has a very simple lesson for family life also. It means to say, if I see, or every day, every moment somebody is dying somewhere in this world, right? So when they die, they have to go to another family. So if I want a good Jiva who is coming from a divine environment somewhere in another part of the world, if I want that type of Jiva to come in my family, well, I have to have the right environment for that Jiva to come, isn't it? So it means to say, I have to be like that. This is a very, very important thing for family life actually. If I want a divine Jiva to come in my family, my family has to be divine. And he says, Bhagwan Ram was born to Manu and Shatrugna, who had done tapas for millennia. He was not born to any ordinary person. So depending on what type of person I am, that same type of Jiva who has just died somewhere in the world, he'll come to. If I want a certain type of members in my family, I have to be what I want. It doesn't happen otherwise. You see? So now, Bhagavan says he takes everything, Shrotram Chakshus Parshanam Cha Rasanam Granam Eva Cha Dishthan Manaschayam Vishayan Upasevate. And staying in this body wherever he goes there now, he uses these 5 senses. They are named there as eyes, nose and mouth and tongue and all the various skin and all that, right? He uses them and his mind, Dishtayam, Manaschayam, Vishayan Upasevate. And he experiences this thing and that thing and the other thing. He experiences through this mind and 5 senses. That is all that verse is telling. And what happens there is Bhagavan had talked about it before. When he experiences something, he goes to some place and he experiences something for the first time. He goes to Trinidad and somebody gives him Trinidad doubles. And after eating that doubles, he said, wow, this thing is so good. Can we go back for another one? And second day, third day. But I'm just giving a crazy example. But what happens is the jiva, through these five senses and mind, when he experiences anything in this world, he gets attached. And that attachment causes him to go again and again. And then like that, his eyes are attached to one thing, his ears attached to another thing, skin attached to another thing, tongue attached to countless things. Like that. So he gets attached from all sides, bound by these five senses and his mind, and he gets bound to this world and cycle of births and death, that attachment. Therefore, Bhagavan had said earlier in this chapter, Asanga Shastrena Chitva, having got us someone, Tatat Padam Tat Parimargitavyam. This attachment which we all have to this world. This is the main topic in this chapter. Cutting attachment to all the things that we have in this world. That is actually the main topic in spirituality also. We come here and let me just tell you how attachment, what we mean by attachment and detachment. Look here. You know, husband and wife have a baby, right? And they both are working. So what they do? They hire a babysitter, right? They hire a babysitter. Babysitter comes in the house and stays from 8 till 4 because they go to work from 8 till 4. Right. So the babysitter feeds the baby, plays with the baby, bathes the baby, changes the baby's clothes, and puts the baby to sleep, waits for the baby to wake up, and again entertains the baby and all that till 4 o'clock, right? Till 4 p.m. Whole day she's taking care of that baby. When it is 4 o'clock and the parents reach home, it is 4 p.m. and the parents reach home, that babysitter is attached to that baby and starts crying, no, I don't want to leave this baby, I can't go home without this baby. What happens at 4 o'clock? The babysitter goes straight home immediately, doesn't care because that's a job only, isn't it? That's a job. This baby doesn't belong to her, it belongs to these other people. In the very same way, you have to remember, because we are very attached to children and spouse and house and all sorts of, attached to so many things, we have to remember. Just like she remembers, this baby belongs to these parents. We all have to remember, everything in this world belongs to Bhagavan. Otherwise, what we get so attached to everything in this world, and Bapre. You know when you put scotch tape, when scotch tape sticks, and you pull, what happens? You pull out a few hairs and Well, when we get attached to anything in this world, we are singing a bhajan. Jin jodi, tin todi. Wherever there is attachment, whatever we are attached to, please see this law of the universe. Whatever we are attached to, one day, either that thing will be taken away from me, or I will be taken away from that thing. But that amounts to same, correct or not? Anything I am attached to. So this Gita, chapter 15, this is a very important topic. Bhagavan is saying we have to cut down this tree of attachment which we have all built up in our life. Anyway, utkramantam stitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimudhananu pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. Now this is a little bit higher Vedanta. Utkramantam stitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam. That whenever this mind and five senses go out and they are experiencing anything in this world, what we have to understand, these mind and five senses, they are driven by sattva, rajas and tamas. And the object which they are experiencing outside, that also is made up of sattva, rajas and tamas. And therefore, I should just sit like a quiet witness and watch. Oh, these sattva, rajas and tamas, they are interacting with those sattva, rajas and tamas, and I should just be a good silent witness. Sakshi. Sakshi means witness. Utkramantam siddham vapi punjanam vagunanvitam vimudha na anupashyanti. The one who is deluded, that means you and I, we don't see this. We don't see the gunas acting with the gunas. And what happened? What's Pashyanti Jnana Chakshusha. But the one who has really studied these chapters well for a long time and he has developed the eye of knowledge, he sees, oh, the guna is just acting with the gunas. This had come in 13th chapter and 14th chapter previously also. Prakritya eva. Kuru karmani. All things are done by Prakriti. Yatanto yoginas chainam pashyantyatmanyavasthitam. I did all the chapters, all the verses. Yatanto yoginas chainam pashyantyatmanyavasthitam. Now see, Bhagavan talks about two types of people in this verse. This is a very simple verse also. Two types of people. Both are yatantaha. Yatantaha means those people who strive. Now please see this. I want you to see this. We see this ordinarily in the world also. You will see one man working hard in his business and another fellow right there working hard in his business, and you will see that one prospering and this one not prospering. That happens. That happens all the time. So now there will be a number of things responsible for that. So Bhagavan is talking about two people working hard here. Yatantaha yoginaha cha enam pashyanti atmani avasthitam. Some yogis, they strive in this path of sadhana, they do well, and they see Bhagavan, the Paramatma inside. In their own self, they come to realize, I am the one with that Paramatma. And then, yatantaha api akrita manaha na enam pashyanti achetasaha. But then the others who strive hard also, he calls them as achetasaha. Achetasaha means really. Let me just give you another example so you will see. Now you will see. Now, two children looking at a teacher teach mathematics on this board, on this blackboard, right? Two children, and one child gets it, and the other child does not get it. So now there will be some things in the mind of the child who did not get it, which prevented him from getting it. So now, whatever prevented him from getting it, who put that in his mind? Well, he himself would have had to put from his previous life, and because of the previous life, he was born in a particular environment, and that particular environment prevented him from getting the basics and fundamentals of logic and all that is required for understanding the mathematics. So the teacher teaching, I remember studying this in standard 3. The teacher teaching long division. And the fellow sitting next to me, but he couldn't get head nor tail over the teacher teaching. But we all grew up in the same village. We all came to the same school. We ate the same bhaji and rice and everything that was grown in the village. Everything. So now, there has to be something in that person's mind which is preventing him from understanding what the teacher is teaching. And the thing which is there in the mind, who put? Parent did not say, come here boy, let me put some durguna in your mind. Nobody said. It means to say that in previous life and now in this life and all, the proper use of the mind, proper understanding and all of that thing was not developed properly. The mind also has to be used properly. Like for example, my mind has to be used to calculate how I will follow dharma and not adharma. Correct? But if I am using my mind to figure out how to follow adharma, well, I am abusing that mind and I'm going to cause so many problems in future. So, such a person who does not use that mind properly, that mind does not get developed properly, and so he does not have that mind available to understand the higher spirituality which Bhagavan is talking about. So though he may put the same effort now, that boy who's sitting next to me, he will also get up at the same time, he will also do his chores at the same time, he will come to school at the same time, he'll do everything just like that, and he'll take all the notes also, but he understands nothing. So putting yatantaha, both of them putting effort, but one gets it and one doesn't get it. That is all. So here also Bhagavan is saying, some people in spirituality also like that. Some gets it and some don't. That shows how important it is that we always use this mind properly to follow dharma rather than anything adharma, anything improper, non-virtuous like that. Always follow the virtuous thing. Now, in the next few verses, Bhagavan talks about his glories. This is a reflection of some verses which was there in the 10th chapter, which was there in the 9th chapter, which was there in the 7th chapter. In all those chapters, Bhagavan talked about his glories. Well, here come some more verses where he talks about his glories. It is good to reflect on the glories of Paramatma. Hare Krishna. One day somebody came to the lab of Einstein, and Einstein saw him coming from outside and thought, oh, that fellow is coming. That fellow is an atheist. And Einstein knew him. An atheist. He doesn't believe in God. So, before he entered, Einstein had a curtain like this. He drew the curtain, and behind that there was a nice model of our sun and all the planets going around. He had made a model. So when that fellow came, the curtain was already drawn. So he saw that nice model of the sun, our solar system. In Einstein time, they used to hold Pluto also as a planet. Nowadays, I think they abandoned Pluto. That fellow has become orphan. So 9 planets were there, right? So the fellow who, the atheist who came, he said, you have the solar system here? Arey wah, badi baat hai. Means, who made it? Einstein said, nobody made it. He said, what do you mean nobody made it? No, nobody made it. I just came here and I was sitting and then poof, it came. So that atheist said, look, don't be foolish. How poof it will come? Einstein said, well, that is what you think about the universe also. This whole universe and our real solar system and all things which are going on, you think it just poof, it came. When nobody who made it? If this thing is there in my room, somebody made it. So, there are many people in the world who do not believe in some higher force in this universe, the controller of all things, who we call as Ishvara. But I am telling you, that is tantamount to believing that Einstein was just sitting in his office, in his lab, and this thing just poof came from nowhere. And nobody would want to believe that. Even an atheist did not want to believe that. That means to say atheist people are so short-sighted actually. Their thinking is so limited, really. So now, here Bhagavan is telling that everything which you see in this whole universe, now all these verses, the whole universe, anything you can see in this universe, that thing is my glory. I have manifested as that thing. That is all. And I am the force behind this universe. Every single thing which is going on. And you think what, see, we are ordinary beings, right? You just think for a minute, what you have made. See, like this, right? I'm moving my hand and I'm pointing like this. I invented that or what? I invented this ability to talk over vocal cords. I was born with that thing. I never made a single thing. Yada jagatam tejaha jagat bhasayate khilam yat chandramasi yat chagnau tat tejo vidhi mamakam. The sun, the bright luminous sun, the moon, the fire, everything where you see brightness, that glow and illumination everywhere around, that thing is me only. I have manifested as all of those things. So Bhagavan is choosing a few things, like that to tell that is me. What he actually means, he had said in the 4th chapter, Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Lord is everything. Some Mahatma Siddhu, 4 to 7. 7 chapters. Everything is Paramatma. So the sun, the moon, the stars, everything, the whole universe. Gama Vishacha Bhutani Dharayami Hamujasa Krishnami Chausari Sarvaha Soma Bhutva Satka. And I, as the moon, I emit cool, nice radiance, a radiant light to plants. I infuse in plants some special power for them to take up the sap. No, I don't know if you all see now in this part of Guyana where you are living, they only have flat rice field. But for those people who know the bush and they know the forest, like we have an ashram in Trinidad in the forest. Ghor jungle. That time, certain time of the month when the moon is in a certain phase, there are more trees fallen over. That's why they cut wood in certain phase of the moon also. You know that, right? The moon plays a very big role in plant growth and so many things on the earth. So when I am that moon who is affecting all things on this earth. I am the earth too, what to do? Like this hand washes this hand. And vice versa. So I am the moon who is affecting the earth, but the earth is me also. Like that. Gama Vishacha Bhutani Dharayami Ojasa. No, these are all technical words. Dharayami Ojasa. Means to say, by some special power in the moon, I hold up all beings. Gam Avishya Chabhutani Dharayami Ojasa. Entering the earth, I Gam Avishya Chabhutani Dharayami Aham Ojasa Pushnami Chauchari Sarvaha Somo Bhutvar. This Somo part. So, I, sustain all the plants and all the things which are growing by causing them to pull up the sap. Now you think if you plant bora, or you plant okra, you plant something, and then that tree doesn't pull up any of the sap from the ground, then what you'll get? Dry okra. Dry bora, it has to pull up sap, and with that sap it pulls up all the nutrients and all things. Bhagavan is saying, because of me and the power of the moon, I cause them to pull up all the sap like that onto the tree. And entering the earth, my power, I sustain the earth. So he is both the moon, the sun, the earth, he is everything. Actually, the glory of Bhagavan is being pointed out like that. We have to always remember. Even though Bhagavan is saying, I am the power that upholds the earth, I am the power in the moon that causes all the sap to go up on plants and all of that sort of thing. You cannot say only Bhagavan is only that. Like the children in the class. Let me tell you how it is going. Listen to this story. The teacher put a bowl of apples, a basin of apples over there. Right? And the teacher kept a basin of bananas over here. So a basin of apples there and a basin of bananas over here. So all the children in the school, they had to come like this and in a line. Take one apple and then walk down, take one banana and exit. So the teacher now, only one teacher was there. So they thought when the children come there, they will take 2 apples. What to do? So the teacher put a sign there. Take 1. The sign said, take 1. God is watching you. Take 1. God is watching. So 2 fellows came. And they took 1 each from that line, and then they came here. So one boy telling the other boy, no, now we could take 2 because God watching the apple only. Now look here. Bhagavan is not only there watching apple. Even though the sign says God is watching and there's only 1 sign over there. And in the same way, God is not only the sun and the moon and the stars. God is every single thing in this universe. So Gam Avisha will enter this earth, my Ojasa, my power. I sustain all beings. Actually, this can be translated in so many ways. Right? Anyway, you have time to reflect on all of these things. See, this earth is being held in orbit by some power or not? This earth is being held in orbit by the power of gravity, correct? So that one meaning, the power of gravity. Do you know? If this earth moves out by 2 degrees, power of Bhagavan fails. Or Bhagavan decides otherwise. By 2 degrees we move out, in towards the sun or away from the sun. Both sides be there. Because already there is now parts of the earth that is freezing. So if we move 2 degrees further, well, the rest of the earth will freeze. And if we move 2 degrees closer to the sun, well, we'll all roast. People will get, the animals will get barbecue humans. So Bhagavan says, my power is sustaining this earth, right where it is. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhuta. And then next one, I am not, see, just now, talk, sun and star, what do you call, Yadadityagatam Tejaha Jagat Bhasayati Khilam, as far out as the sun. Then he came closer to the moon and the earth. Now he comes even closer. What is that? In this body also. So he's telling, I am really one who is manifested as all things, whether far away or a little bit closer or even as close as this body. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashrittaha Pranapana Samayuktaha Pachami Annam Chaturvidam. I am there in the stomach also, digesting the 4 types of food that we eat. I am there in our stomach digesting 4 types of food. 4 types of food means what? Some food we just swallow like that. And some things we don't just swallow it, like water or juice. Juice, you just swallow. Then other type of food you lick, like ice cream. You don't take the whole ice cream, you just swallow. We lick that. And then there's some other type of food we suck, like when you get snow cone and that straw, like that. And the last type is the one we chew. So, he says, I am there in the stomach digesting these 4 types of food. So, it means to say that Bhagavan is there in our stomach also. And what to talk? He is digesting the 4 types of food. He is the enzymes, in other words, right? Bhagavan is the enzymes and bile and everything that is doing all the work there in the stomach. But he is also the food. You can't forget that. He is also the food. And he is the energy that is derived from the food that is used to sustain the body. Just now he said he was Ojas. Ojas means energy. So Bhagavan is everything. You see? Prana Prana Samayuktaha. I collaborate with Prana and Apana. Life force and all the movement and all that in the body. And I digest. I also collaborating with the Vaishwanara, the fire of, see, Vaishwanara is actually fire. And fire, now science, I remember when they taught us in school, digestion occurs best when the stomach is warm. That is why in Ayurveda, they advise never drink anything cold. The stomach digests best when things are warm. But people drink ice cold. It has to have that ice in it. And some people chew the ice also. We like cold things like that. And one mother was telling that boy, how many times I told you don't chew ice? And that boy said, I'm not chewing ice, I'm making water. That fellow has a good reply for the mother. Jai Shri Krishna Mukunda Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna
Mukunda Krishna.
Sannivishtaha. And again Bhagavan says this is the last verse of the glorification of the Lord. I am there in everybody's heart. Bhagavan is there in the heart. Sarvasya Chaham. He doesn't say Sarvasya Pranina. He said Sarvasya. Sarvasya means everything. I am at the root of everything. I am at the root of, and everything in this universe, its root is really existence. It means Bhagavan is the existence behind this whole universe. The root of everything in this universe is existence. Sarvasya Chaham Sannivishta. Matta Smriti Jnanam Apohanam Cha. And from me emanates Smriti, memory, Jnanam, and the removal of memory and knowledge. Knowledge and memory. From me come both. And also the removal of both come from me only. Actually, this is a very good thing also. It is good to forget. You know that? Some people say, when I say it is good to forget, people say, Swamiji, then I am real good because I forget everything. But see, one fellow went to the doctor and he said, Doctor, you have to help me. What is your problem? Doctor, I am forgetting everything. Fast I forget everything. Really? What is your age now? He said, no, I am only 49. 49? And how long you have been having this problem? He said, what problem? Don't forget the problem too. That actually, let me just ask you something. You will see how it is good to forget also. If we never used to forget, we would have remembered every single word that every teacher said since you started going to school till now. You would have remembered verbatim every single word every teacher said. Now, see how many teachers you have had in your life? I cannot even count. All the way to university, how many courses, how many professors and this. And if we never used to forget, we would have remembered every word everybody said. Not only they, forget about professor, they were still less in number. How many people you have met in your life? You met countless people now. And those countless people have spoken with you. And you would have remembered all of them. And you would have remembered all the food you ate since you were born. And you would have also remembered how many times you chewed. I chewed 45 times, swallow that mouthful. And then next mouthful, 45 times again. So you want to remember all that? So Bhagavan is saying, I am the source of all memory and all knowledge, but I am also the one who removes all memory and all knowledge. And it's a blessing that we could forget things. Otherwise, you remember when you fall down or when your neighbor's son beat you up. You want to remember that he gave you 2 thappar and you. Everything you remember. It's good to forget actually. No. Vedaisha sarvaya rameva vidya. And there are 4 Vedas and all various scriptures emanating from the 4 Vedas, countless in number. All of them only have one thing as the goal to know. That is Paramatma. Bhagavan says, I am that Paramatma. The one goal, Vedyam means that ought to be known. Vedyam, that which ought to be known through all scriptures, just one thing only, that Paramatma. I am that Vedyam. Vedanta Krit Veda Videvacha. And I am the one who is responsible for all these Vedas and Vedanta and everything. Emanated all from me only. And I am the one who knows it. 100%. So, this Paramatma is telling about himself. Now, next 3 verses, what is there? Bhagavan is going to give 3 names of 3 Purushas. Now, this Purusha word is a big word. Now, let me see how much time I have. I have plenty time. You have heard sometime Bhagavan's name is called Paramatma, Ishvara, Brahman, like that, right? And then we say Bhagavan has his power called as Maya. His intrinsic power is called as Maya, Maya Shakti. like that. Shakti means power. Right. Well, in the time when Bhagavan Shri Krishna was living, you know that in every age, in every period in history, we have different words emanating for different things. And sometimes the word means the reverse. Like in Trinidad, I don't know if you say in Guyana also, but when somebody comes with a nice car, you say, man, that car bad. No, here also, not here. So that's a real nice car, right? It's a real nice car. So instead of saying nice, they say bad. No, that's opposite. Now the word bad has taken on different meaning. Bad means good now. But history is like that. And today, modern slang. I was hearing somebody recently, they shared something about modern slang in America. If they talk in slang language, none of us could understand nothing. The slang also, all new things have come. Bapre, you can't even imagine. So in Bhagavan's time, so many different words were flying around, right? So one word for Paramatma was Purusha. Purusha. Now in Hindi, Purush means a man, or an ordinary man, right? But that time, the word Purusha was used to refer to Paramatma. So now Bhagavan says, I will tell you about 3 Purushas. What? How many gods are there? Only 1. But, okay, I'll tell you one more thing, which is very common today. What is that? Have you heard about the Lord? Everybody has heard about the Lord. Right. Have you heard about the drug Lord? They use the same word, isn't it? He is the drug Lord. So what kind of Lord is he? So we have all kind of names and things like that, no? Drug Lord. And one fellow came home, he went by the drug Lord. He went by the drug Lord, and you know what you get there? So he got some of it, and he took some, and he came home now, in the middle of the night. And he take out the key. Take out the key from the pocket to open the front door. Now, when you take drugs, right? No, he can't find the hole to put the key because anyway, that time the policeman was passing. So the policeman stopped. He said, "Sir, you need some help?" He said, "Yes, officer. Please hold down this house while I put this key in." Gone. But he visited the drug lord. So we use that word also, drug lord. No? So now, same way as the word Purusha was used for Paramatma, Purusha word was also used for other things, like how we use Lord for Lord, and then we use Lord for the drug lord. And warlord. There are so many lords, isn't it? So now, 3 Purushas I will tell. This is interesting. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam. Akshara, Ekachara. There are two Purushas in this world. Loke, Vabhimo Purusha. There are two Purushas. One is called as Kshara and the other is called as Akshara. Now this is just names for great things in this world. See, we have to study the world a little bit also. It is very important. If we don't study, just like how if there's an army on this side and an army on that side, the army on this side has to study all the strategies of the army on that side. And not only army, what is a cricket team, football team, anything, isn't it? You have to study what is the strategy of the opposite team. So this jiva is living in this jagat. This ordinary being is living in this jagat. So the jiva has to study this jagat. So now he's saying in this jagat, Dvavi Mahapurusha Loke, there are two Purushas. One is called as Kshara and the other is called as Akshara. One is called as that which is changing in the next verse. Kshara Sarvani Bhutani. He himself explained the word Kshara. Kshara means all beings and things in this world which are changing. Now what is excluded from this? Nothing is excluded. Everything is changing in this world or not? Every single thing is changing. You think about your own self. If you show somebody your picture when you were 5 years old and you show them your picture now when you are 5 years old, we have changed. And not only that, our mind has changed also. Because I used to believe certain things. Like that time, I used to believe it have a flying Dutchman by this cotton tree. But now I don't believe that. I believe there are sitting Dutchman, there, no flying Dutchman. I changed my belief. But we can change our belief from one thing to the next. So my mind changed. Everything is changing. And my mind used to remember so many things. Now it cannot remember. My eyes used to see things. Now I could hardly see anything. Now someone fellow went by the doctor. The doc, something wrong with my eyes. The man is sitting there and the doctor is sitting here. So the man is telling the doctor, "Doctor, you have to help me, something is wrong with my eyes." The doctor said, "What? What is the matter?" He said, "Now I am looking at you, I am seeing two doctors." He's looking at the doctor and seeing two doctors. Listen to the doctor. The doctor goes, "Oh, do all four of you have the same problem?" So he's seeing two, the doctor sees. So the eyes used to be working good at one time, now they're not working good. So that the whole universe is called as Kshara. So this whole changing universe is called as Kshara Purusha. That's the first Purusha. Kshara Purusha, the first Purusha, changing universe. Then the next one, Utastho Kshara Uchyate. That's Maya. Maya is not changing. Maya is always same. Now I want to tell you exactly what the Maya is. That Maya really here can be taken as illusion. Illusion. It means there's an illusion of change. There's an illusion of change. Another thing, right now, there's an illusion of being stationary. Then Maya is causing that. An illusion of change. So the change which we experience is an illusion of change only. And so many other things caused by Maya. I'm telling you, there is an illusion of being stationary. Nobody is stationary. Right now you seem to be sitting there and you appear to be stationary, but you are moving in about 6 directions one time. You have not thought about it. Right now we are moving in about 6 different directions. See, the earth is tilting like this when it moves from northern solstice to southern solstice. That's one movement you are. Then the earth is spinning on its own axis. There's a second movement. Then the earth is going around the sun. There's a third movement. Then the earth belongs to our our whole solar system belongs to our Milky Way. And in that Milky Way it is going on at such a speed. And at the same time, every atom, every electron inside of us is, then how you say they're stationary? And our Milky Way is just one of 2 trillion Milky Ways out there. And all of them going everywhere. How many movements? But you see, there's an illusion that stationary. Nothing is moving. That's why Maya is called a Kutastha. Kutastha means it doesn't change. That thing has been like that forever. That does not change. The illusion does not change. I am a perpetual illusion. I'm experiencing perpetual illusion. Anyway, there are so many explanations for that word Kutastha. But here Kutastha means Maya. So the second Purusha is called as Maya. And now what is the Uttama Purushastvanyaha? Paramatme Tudahirataha. The third Purusha is called as Paramatma. This is the Purusha which we all are aware of. So just like I was telling you, when we say the Lord, we mean Paramatma. But when you say drug Lord, you don't mean Paramatma. You mean some warlord. Like that. You mean something else. So you're using the same Lord word. So here, Kshara Purusha, or the changing universe. Akshara Purusha, the Maya, which is the unchanging universe. Because while you see a whole universe of change, if you just study the universe a little bit, you will realize there is no change also. Because people are born and they grow and die. And then again, born and grow and die. That has not changed, correct? That will never change. The whole universe runs like that. So the person who was born, he seems to be changing. But this process never changes. That process is constant. Kutastha is an anvil. Unchanging. An anvil, blacksmith shop, they beat things on the anvil. And that thing shapes and changes. But the anvil remains same. So all the things in this universe seem to be changing, but the process of the universe remains same. That is the Maya. The Paramatma is called the last Purusha here, the highest Purusha. So three Purusha. Yo lokatrayama vishya vibharti avyayaha ishvaraha. That Paramatma is the one who has entered the whole universe and is sustaining this universe, called as Ishvara, also here given. Just now the Jiva was called as Ishvara. Yasmat ksharamati itoham aksharaadapi chottamaha atosmi loke vedecha prakita purushottama. Now that Paramatma, Ishvara, is in Krishna's time. That time Bhagavan was there, was also called as Purushottama. I'm sure you would have heard somebody named Purushottama. Purushottama is the highest Purusha. So while this changing universe is one Purusha and the Maya is second Purusha, Bhagavan is the highest Purusha, Purushottama. And it is after this name, this chapter is named. Chapter 15 is called Purushottama Yoga. So Bhagavan is the ultimate being of this universe, the highest reality in the universe. All things will come and go in this universe, appear and disappear, but Bhagavan will be same there, never coming or going. Now, two more verses. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna, Jai Shri evam asammuraha janati purushottamam. Now see, any person who has given up all the delusion of worldly materialistic things means to say, I've detached myself from this thing. Because the delusion which we are talking about here is the delusion that I can get and I will get and I will continue to get happiness from worldly things. That is a delusion. Happiness lies inside. Happiness does not lie in worldly things. So, yo mam evam asammuraha. That person who has gone beyond this delusion, because this chapter started with that, to cut down the tree of attachment. The attachment comes because I am deluded into thinking that there is happiness outside. So the one who can cut down that tree of attachment and get rid of this delusion, yo mam evam asammuraha janati purushottamam. That person will come to know that Paramatma. And he who knows that Paramatma, Purusha Uttamani, Supreme Purusha, Sasarvavid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata. That person is said to be all-knowing. And he is the one who will really consider Bhagwan or worship Bhagwan with all his heart. Otherwise, our heart, half our heart is with Bhagwan and half our heart with, not half, little bit with Bhagwan, Kabhi, little bit, sometimes. The rest of the heart is with all the things in this world. Iti guhyatamam shastram idam uttam maya anagha. Oh anagha, Arjuna, sinless Arjuna. Anagha. Nishpapi, Arjuna. The one, Arjuna was a favorite of Bhagwan because that fellow will not commit any pap, any wrong thing, any adharma. So he had called us Anagha. This supreme Shastra, this secretive Shastra, this subtle Shastra, scripture, has been given by me to you. Etad buddha buddhiman syam kritakrityascha bharata. And anybody who knows what I have taught here in this 15th chapter well, anybody who knows it well, such a person becomes kritakritya. Kritakritya is a wonderful Sanskrit word. It means I have fulfilled the ultimate purpose of life. Kritakritya. I have done what ought to have been done. That is the literal meaning of kritakritya. Done what ought to have been done in this lifetime. This lifetime is given so that we'll get mukti, we'll merge with Paramatma. So the one who knows this 15th chapter properly and follows it properly, that person will become kritakritya. That is it is interesting to see, Hanumanji said, when he gets darshan of Sita Maya in Lanka, he said, now I have become kritakritya bhayavu mai mata. Now I have become complete, fulfilled. There is nothing to be done anymore. He got darshan of Sita Maya. So here this kritakritya word comes at the end of all Vedantic texts. The student said, now I have done what ought to have been done in this lifetime. I am complete. Like that, there is nothing else to be done. So Bhagavan says, by studying this 15th chapter and imbibing all the teachings properly, I become asammuraha, totally devoid of any delusion and any caused by attachment to this world or accompanied with attachment to this world and all that. All right, that is chapter 15. Now tomorrow, chapter 16. That will be in Essequibo Coast. Charity at the other end of the country. Night number 86 tomorrow in Charity, Essequibo Coast. All right. Okay, let me tell you some announcements and then we can have Gita Aarti and then we'll see after that. Okay. Please see this bookmark has been printed for this occasion, 108 nights in 108 temples across Guyana. Printed a bookmark specially for this occasion. One for everybody. Please have one before you go, okay? Right. So, a very special thank you to the people of the Namrik Sri Rameshwar Mandir here in Panisham for organizing nicely and all those who are behind the operation of the temple and all that. Thank you for having us. We had a great time. This 108 nights concludes with a grand finale at the Gandhi Youth Cricket Ground in Georgetown on the 3rd of May at 5 p.m. So that's the information. 3rd May, 5 p.m., Gandhi Youth in Georgetown. It's going to be a big program, and we're going to, we want to get some idea from you, how many can come and all that, so we can, advise the caterers, because we'll provide dinner for everybody and all that, right? Come and have some nice seven curry or something. What are you having, seven curry? I'm looking forward to that, So anyway, please let us know. You're all invited to come out on the 3rd of May, 5 p.m. So it is earlier in the day, so that you can have time to come back, reach back home and all that. We'll be glad to have all of you come and be part of that grand finale, closing ceremony and program. Right. At Chinmay Mission Guyana here now, we have 2 teachers permanently posted here in Guyana at Chinmay Mission in Monrepo. So Dev Ji and Jeena Ji are sitting here. You please meet them. They're teaching many things at the ashram, including Sanskrit and Vedic chanting and stutis and stotrams and all such things. And in May, after this 108 nights are completed, they're going to start a Pandit's course, which will require perfect chanting of Sanskrit and all of that. And the pass mark for the Pandit course is 100%. If you get 99%, you fail. So they will be teaching a very strict course starting in May. All right, please talk to them and see what all things you can learn. So many things are happening at the ashram. All right, last announcement is the Vedanta course. Now, in order to become a teacher in Chinmay Mission, what is required is you have to be 30 and under, you have to be unmarried, and you have to have a university degree. And then you apply. The next course is starting on the 2nd of October. And if you are admitted, then you will have to stay in the ashram for 2 years. Stay in the ashram for 2 years, and there will be classes every single day for 2 years. And when we say every single day, we mean every single day. Classes are there 365 days. There are no holiday, no Christmas holiday, no Diwali holiday, no Shivratri holiday, no Saturday holiday, no Sunday holiday, nothing. 2 years of study every single day. Second thing is classes start at 5:30 a.m. every single day and end in the night at 8 p.m. every day, like this time. So after those 2 years of study with this type of intensity, then only the person becomes qualified to go and teach in Chinmay Mission centers across the world. So we have centers from Australia to New Zealand to US to UK to everywhere. So after that training, then only the qualification is there to go and teach. Okay. And the next batch, right now there's a batch going on in Mumbai, and the next batch is in Trinidad on October 2nd. So if you are not interested in joining, you may know somebody who is interested in joining. You please send a message around. Huh? All right. Those are the announcements. We'll have the Gita Arti and then we'll conclude. Huh? Okay, let's all stand for Gita Arti. Om Jai Bhagavad त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या त्वमेव पार्वती